All right, what is going on, guys? I don't even have a camera on. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so welcome to the Savage stream. We are getting ready to do the VEDDHA frame building competition, and that's going to be over on the DCA channel, DCA Adventure channel. Let me see what they're actually doing over there right now. So it just says, yeah, 2 p.m. start time right here. So just going to get over there and do that. I should have planned a little bit better as far as how I was going to possibly stream and do the Zoom call, because whenever you have a limited number of cameras, it's not going to work very well because, you know, one program takes your camera and you can't use it in another program. And I need to be able to give my camera to Zoom in order for us to stream the competition on a single source, which is DCA Adventures website or channel. So it's not going to work out the way I thought it was, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Let me post the link to DCA over here just to make sure everybody's got it, and we will go from there. Let's see here. What else do I need to do? I was going to go over, hey, what's up, Orly and Dan the Dane and Dr. Scott Becker, PCB guy. What's going on, Tech Man? Hope everybody's doing well. So I guess I'm not going to be streaming the competition from my channel. I think I'll, because of how things work with the cameras and stuff, I'm just going to do it from, so I'll just connect through Zoom to DCA and all that stuff, and that's the only way out. That's the only way that I think it's going to work. I think that there's workarounds and there's ways of doing it. Maybe we'll look at that in the future, for me anyway, to figure this out. Yeah, I think this is going to be cool, but I figure what I could do real quick is go over the rules real fast. I don't know if any of the other folks are in here or not, but this should help everybody out as far as, you know, what to expect from this, right? So if you're competing, this is going to be really important, because if you get ahead, right? If you get ahead of everybody else, you can't just look at what they've done because you're going to be ahead, right? So you have to know how to build this thing, like all the little rules that we put in to make it a little bit more difficult, right? So you kind of have to know about all this stuff. So we've got the approved frames. We've already talked about this. Everybody that's on here today is good to go. You know, we have the right frames. You can either use the V3D or the V3C. The competition will not include fan installation, so either of these frames can be used because we're not going to be putting them on the fans, with the exception of scissors, knife, or box cutter used to cut the straps and open the box, because there's white straps around the cardboard box, right? And they do slide off, or you might be able to stretch them out and slide them off, but we decided that, you know, you should be able to at least cut those white straps with something. But other than that, every tool that is used has to be inside the box. Now we'll have to do like a contingency if maybe the tools aren't in the box, right? So, you know, if they packed it improperly or whatever, then we'll work around that if that does come up. I've never seen that happen, you know, where they forgot to put the tools in there, but if it does, we'll work through it. No practicing. This is kind of like an old rule here, because we're already on the day. So if you're practicing right now, then shame on you. No assistance. You cannot have someone helping you unpackage or assemble anything related to the build. You can have somebody get you a sandwich or a drink or something, that's fine. But they can't like pre-assemble parts or open packages for you, or, you know, anything like that. It has to be constructed with all the pieces properly aligned, sturdy, balanced, level, and ready to accept a motherboard, power supply, and GPU, just as if you were going to actually build a rig, right? So we're not going to throw it together and just see who can get it assembled the fastest. It's got to be ready to go. Like, you got to be you shouldn't have to adjust anything to go ahead and start actually building a real rig, right? So some real particular things about the build: the 2 motherboard T-slot rails have to be installed with the 2 pre-drilled motherboard standoff holes for the outside of the frame, like the instruction shows. So there's different ways of organizing things on the frame. You can get things backwards and it'll still assemble. So we want to make sure that it is actually to spec, right? As per instructions, we want to make sure that things are in the right order and the pre-drilled holes are in the right spot and all that stuff. We're going to put in 6 brass standoffs. Those have to be installed like as though you were installing an actual motherboard. Probably doesn't really matter which of the, let's see, how many holes are there? There's 6 plus 9, 15. So there's like 15 pre-drilled holes. Doesn't really matter which ones you throw those in, but it would, you know, be best if you put them in there as though you were actually going to install a motherboard. The GPU support crossbar can be installed in either the front or the back. That's one of the configurable parts of the VEDDHA frame, is being able to put the support bar either under the risers of the GPU or under the rear of the GPU. So it's basically just flips one way or the other, and we don't really care how you install it. The GPU I/O bracket, that's the rail that the GPU I/O bracket actually connects to, not connects to, but is mounted on, and you have these little silver hex machine screws. We're going to put in 12 of those, so we're going to fill the bar up, and they have to be threaded in a couple of turns, you know, so that they don't fall out and stuff. So in the end, we'll have 12 little shiny chrome machine screws in the I/O bracket support rail. The acrylic power supply bracket must have the protective paper covering removed completely and be installed and properly secured with all 4 machine screws and T-slot nuts. So I see a lot of assemblies online where the folks have assembled the rig and they never even remove that protective paper, so they got like a cardboard looking bracket there. So I threw that in there because I saw that, you know, by some builds. So I wanted to make sure that everybody takes off that protective covering and lets it be just a clear acrylic mount there. The acrylic hard drive mounting bracket must have the paper removed also, and 2 machine screws, slot nuts holding it to the rail. You can probably put the hard drive mounting bracket anywhere you want, but typically it's in the front right side, just based on the general layout of the frame. The protective plastic square caps, should be at least 8 of them in the package. Those must be installed on each of the exposed raw rail ends so that you're not damaging things whenever you're picking it up and putting it down. Those will probably be put on at the very end. So if you are assembling this on a table or something that you care about, make sure that you put something down, because those things are super sharp. It's basically like a raw aluminum edge cut, you know, so it will damage stuff. The fan assembly does not have to be installed. The kit comes with white gloves, and those are optional. And the reason that they come with white gloves is the screws are pretty oily. They ship them in basically like a bag of oil, you know, and the machine screws. And that's because you've got like steel screws, I would suspect, going into aluminum. So because of the difference in tolerances and, you know, expanding and all that stuff, they put a lot of oil on it to make sure that you're able to actually assemble the frame. Let's see, what's the last thing here? So some T-slot nuts may not spin completely 90 degrees. I talked about that the other night. You know, ideally that's how it should work, but as long as they spin enough to secure the item, whether it's the I/O bracket or the you know, any of the parts that use the T-slot nuts, as long as it spins enough to hold it securely, you're good. The winner will be whoever finishes the frame build first, using the requirements stipulated above, as determined by the judge, which is Crypto Mykel and Orly. All right, so that is a real rough overview of the rules. Let's see what's going on in here. All right, so I guess I need to dip out of here and go back into Zoom and get everything set up and good to go. So I think that I'm going to end the stream here. This is just one part of it here. So you need to head over to DCA Adventure stream here. That's who's actually hosting this event. I must have closed my, let me open this back up. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. See, oh, Nefarious, your internet is down? What? What? Wow. Yeah, how can I stream the Zoom? So I'd have to disable my cameras. Let me see if I can do that. I'm going to end the stream here, and because I'll have to close Streamlabs OBS. So give me about 10 minutes, and I'll try to play around with this and see if I can make it work and stream the actual event too on this channel as well, so that we can have chat and stuff, you know, separate from the main chat. But definitely make sure you head over to DCA Adventure Livestream, sub, and all that stuff if you're not already. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Good luck to everybody. I will see you soon.